Think back to a time when political campaigns were all about handshakes, door-to-door visits, and town hall speeches. While some of that still happens, technology has taken center stage. Political campaigns today are data-driven, social media-powered, and algorithmically optimized in ways unimaginable a few decades ago. Ever wonder why your social media feed is flooded with political ads around election time? Or how politicians seem to know just what issues you care about? In this episode, we're diving into the role of technology in shaping modern political campaigns. We'll explore how tech has reshaped voter outreach, fundraising, messaging, and even how elections are won. Spoiler, it's not just about a good slogan anymore. It's about having the right data, digital tools, and algorithms to back it up. So buckle up. Politics just went high-tech. Let's start with the basics. How politicians reach you today versus 30 years ago. Remember when TV ads, posters, and billboards were the go-to methods for campaign outreach? Sure, traditional media still plays a role, but today's political candidates are much more likely to be found tweeting, streaming live on Instagram, or posting a viral TikTok. Why? Because that's where the voters are. Social media has given politicians direct access to voters in real time, without needing a TV network or newspaper as the middleman. Platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube are now central to campaigns, offering instant reach and engagement with millions. The big game changer here is micro-targeting, the ability to target specific voters based on their online activity. Political ads can now be tailor-made for different demographics, interests, or even geographic locations. You might see a message focused on healthcare, while someone in another town sees one about taxes. The feedback loop is instant. If something isn't working, campaign teams can switch gears, change the message, and try again within minutes. The traditional campaign ad is no longer one-size-fits-all. The biggest asset in a modern political campaign? Data. And not just any data, your data. Today, campaigns can gather an enormous amount of information about voters, from their voting history to their online habits. Tools like big data analytics and AI allow political teams to create detailed voter profiles, predicting what issues resonate with whom. This is why you might get an email about education policy one day and climate change the next. It's all calculated to appeal to your personal interests and concerns. In fact, Barack Obama's 2008 campaign was one of the first to harness the power of data at scale. His team used algorithms to segment the electorate and figure out where they should allocate resources. Everything from money to volunteers. This targeted approach meant they could focus efforts on swing states or undecided voters, maximizing the efficiency of the campaign. Fast forward to today, and data has become the cornerstone of every major political operation. Predictive modeling, AI-driven voter outreach, and even sentiment analysis to see how people feel about issues are all part of the modern political playbook. If data is the foundation, social media is the megaphone. From Twitter rants to Instagram stories, modern political campaigns aren't just about the message, they're about the conversation. Take Twitter, for example. A single tweet can spark national debate, mobilize supporters, or even sink an entire campaign. Social media has democratized political discourse, allowing not just candidates, but also voters to have a say in the conversation. You no longer have to be a political pundit or journalist to voice your opinion. A single tweet can go viral and influence public opinion on a large scale. And it's not just about words. Politicians now use video clips, memes, and viral trends to stay relevant in the fast-moving news cycle. Think of how Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, live streams on Twitch, or how Donald Trump's tweets dominated headlines during his presidency. Whether you agree with their politics or not, their savvy use of social media kept them in the spotlight. But there's a dark side, too. Misinformation spreads just as quickly as legitimate news. Campaigns have had to deal with fake news, deepfakes, and social media manipulation, which have all become serious concerns for democratic processes. Money has always been the lifeblood of political campaigns, but the way campaigns raise funds has drastically changed. Traditional fundraisers? Sure, they still happen, but they've been joined by crowdfunding platforms and small-dollar donations driven by digital outreach. Bernie Sanders' 2016 and 2020 campaigns were landmark cases of grassroots digital fundraising. He raised millions, mostly through small donations from online supporters. No big checks from mega donors, just thousands of people donating $10, $20, or $30 at a time. Platforms like ActBlue, which streamline online donations, have made it easier than ever for campaigns to raise huge sums of money without relying on a few wealthy backers. This shift towards small online donations has democratized political fundraising. Candidates can now bypass traditional fundraising events and instead appeal directly to their base through email and social media campaigns. The role of big donors hasn't disappeared, but small-dollar donations have become a powerful force in modern campaigns. With all this technology comes one huge challenge: election security. The more we rely on digital tools for campaigning, voting, and voter outreach, the more vulnerable elections become to cyber attacks and misinformation. The 2016 U.S. presidential election put election security in the spotlight. Russian interference, fake news, and hacked emails all played a part in shaping public opinion and sowing distrust in the electoral process. The threat isn't just foreign actors either. Internal hacks, data leaks, and disinformation campaigns from within the country can have just as big an impact. To combat this, governments and social media platforms have been forced to rethink security measures. We've seen the rise of fact-checking, stricter regulations on political ads, and investments in cybersecurity to safeguard elections. But with new threats emerging all the time, election security remains an ongoing battle. So, where do we go from here? As technology continues to advance, political campaigns will only become more digital, more data-driven, and more personalized. We might see even greater use of artificial intelligence to craft messages that feel hyper-tailored to individual voters. Augmented reality could make its way into political ads or events, offering immersive experiences to connect with supporters. And as we've already seen with virtual rallies during the COVID-19 pandemic, remote campaigning and digital town halls might become a permanent feature of political life. But with all these advancements, the fundamental questions remain. How do we balance the power of technology with the need for transparency? How do we ensure election security in an increasingly digital world? At the end of the day, technology has revolutionized political campaigns. It has opened up new avenues for voter outreach, data-driven strategies, and fundraising. But it's also brought challenges: misinformation, cybersecurity risks, and growing concerns about privacy and transparency. Whether technology ultimately improves or complicates our democratic processes is still up for debate. What we do know is that it's here to stay, and it will continue to shape the future of politics in ways we can only begin to imagine. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next episode.